we already just left a big badass war in freaking Ghoul, and now there's brewing of another one being set up and all that. So one thing that will definitely be said in this episode and all that is that the series, like in Ghoul, like, I know I'm like not really supposed to be comparing the manga right now because it's trying to do its own thing, but one thing for you guys that anime only watchers as well, that there are slight, and I mean there are slight stuff that are canon in the series and that stuff, so it is like kind of sticking to the same what it is with the manga and all that, but there's just like slight different events and all that are happening right now. So we get to see right at the start, we saw the flashback of like Mado, like seeing him like trying to go again as freaking like one-eyed owl, and you get to see like just everyone, Aima's there, Shinohara, like all of them were trying to take on. I just love that freaking Mado was there with like 2 freaking Quinkes. He's like trying to take on the one-eyed owl and stuff like that. And even them are saying like there was some really interesting stuff being said about that. They were saying, you know, like the one-eyed owl that they saw from that day and this day, those were different and all that. And they're suggesting that maybe like they were 2 different owls or something like that. Like maybe that's what they're suggesting. Like maybe there's like 2 different owls involved or something like that, which would be very interesting. Like since we've seen like, you know, with the same thing with Ayato and Toka, that they pretty much have the same like Kagune, so who knows what's going to be happening with that. Like, remember, I don't want no spoilers or anything like that, the anime only watches and all that, but yeah, that's one thing to let off Sawyer. So who knows like who will this potentially be, this other one-eyed owl, or if it is just the same one, just changed physically, body-wise. And not to mention, it's like throughout the episode we did go through a lot of the inspectors, them talking around sort of like the whole setup for like the big arc, and they're like trying to find out ways to stop Aogiri and saying, you know, there is going to be another big war, we need to stop this because they control the 20th ward and we need to make sure that these guys don't get out of hand just like they did with that whole big Aogiri arc that we just had. That was just a mayhem for the inspectors. And being introduced as well to like Mado's daughter as well, Akira, that's going to be Mado's new replacement, which is going to be very interesting as well, that Amon went from the father to the daughter. And just the way that she talks is just completely owns and saying, you know, I'm trying not to waste time here. And by the way, you're like talking all this stuff, it's making like 0.6 seconds, 0.3, and just Amon is just like, like, so yeah, it's like she's a lot different from her father and all that. However, I will admit and all that, for that part of this episode and all that, is like the animation as well did look very lazy. It was just like Amon just staring there for about like 15 seconds, like with the same face, like so I was like, yeah, like a little nick I had with the little series and all that, but not really like a bad thing or anything. And also as well, I've seen those little snippets as well with just Kaneki with Ayato, who's just murdering people like that. And that's a really big question right now, is like, which we really hopefully get some answers soon to it. Why did Kaneki join Aogiri and all that? Like, why has he joined? Because he's seeing them like teaming up with Ayato and he's like killing people, and even at the end of the episode, like all the Aogiri members are like going after people. So we want to really know what is their goal. What are they going after? That's like a really big thing I want to see and all that. So I'm hoping, you know, like we see a little bit more Kaneki throughout the series and all that. I hope he isn't just like this mystery shadow and all that, because at the moment we really haven't got a main character to go on. I mean, I guess it could go from more from Toka's perspective, but it's like, you know, we want to see Kaneki, so I'm pretty much wondering what that's going to go from there. And, you know, seeing a little bit more Toka through this episode as well, seeing, you know, that everyone at Anteiku, that, you know, they're putting on like a bright face and all that, they're trying to get everything back to normal and all that, seeing like other people there, you know, it was kind of nice to see, you know, little friendly and all that, but, you know, Toka's like was the one that seems like she's the one that's suffering the most through like Kaneki leaving and going into Aogiri, so I really feel bad for her. And one thing I just had to keep mentioning is like, oh my god, like why is Ghoul just doing these amazing OSTs and all that? Like, I don't really care too much for the opening, or even, like, I like the ending, but it's like, I don't really care for them that much compared to the last season's ones, but the OSTs are beautiful, like, especially around about the ending of this episode as well. It was just a beautiful OST and all that. And one thing that was very weird and all that, seeing that girl at the end of the episode taking off her bandages, and us manga readers, we're going to be a little bit confused with that, seeing that little reveal. So, yeah, like, they were trying to reveal that little girl with all the bandages, so that was something very interesting to look at. And honestly, like, this was just a very weird they were doing for this. I mean, honestly, like, I could see, like, this is his original idea for what he was going to do with the arc and all that, but let's be honest there, like, I mean, sometimes, like, manga, like, need those little pushes with, like, the editors and all that. I mean, great example, like, the guy from, like, Rurouni Kenshin and all that, his editor was the main idea that made the Kyoto arc, and that's one of the best arcs, like, ever in, like, Rurouni Kenshin. Like, so, you know, maybe it was needed there, here and there, but personally, I kind of really do like how the manga kind of went from it and all that, but I really did enjoy this episode and all that. It was like a lot of build up, a lot of setup. You need that after like a big ass war, and it was just like, okay, we're gonna go straight into another one like that. So other than that, I really did like this episode and all that. It had some little slow bits in the animation. I guess that's a small little nip I like have with the series and all that so far. But it's like honestly, it was a really good episode. I'm gonna give this one a 7.5 out of 10. I thought it was a very good episode, great setup and all that, and I'm very looking forward to the next one and all that. But let me know in the comment section down below what you thought of this episode. But that's all for me. So thank you very much for watching as always, and I'll see you guys next time.